So for the first time in almost 4 weeks, we're actually starting to see QQQ and SPY beginning to reverse. So today we're going to be looking at QQQ. SPY pretty much reacts the exact same way. So we're going to be talking about QQQ because on this channel we trade SQQQ when the market is going down and TQQQ when the market is going up. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover QQQ. We're also going to talk about some key economic data that's going to be released this week and the earnings that are going to be released this week as well. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the chart and we'll get into it. Alrighty. So taking a quick look at where we're at right now, we're looking at QQQ. We're looking at the daily chart. Let me go ahead and grab a drawing tool. And that way we can break down kind of what's going on. It's going to be a pretty short and sweet video, just to get you guys going for the week. We're doing this video on Sunday, so if you're watching this on Monday, we're going to see a little more clarity in terms of direction. But going off of what we're seeing here on Sunday night, we're looking at the current state that we are bouncing and finding support here at this 355 zone. We talked about this with the team. We talked about finding support at 355 last week when we were in the chat in the Discord. So you guys can find that in a link down below. But that's basically what we're talking about. We were talking about this double bottom forming. And now we finally saw a break through. Let's go ahead and grab a white tool. I don't really like this blue. So on Friday, we finally saw a break above this EMA right here on the daily chart. This is a 15 EMA, and we're starting to see a reversal here on the RSI, a bounce off of this 30 zone and a push up to the upside. Same thing here going on with the MACD. We're starting to see a convergence going into the upside here as well. So this just gives me a little more confirmation. We do have a resistance formed up here from previous points of resistance, right? So our expectation is that we do come up here, but that's going to be this 370 to 372 zone. I do anticipate we find some form of resistance right up here if we get pushed this week to that zone. And if not, it's going to probably take a little bit longer for us to push up to that zone, but that's pretty much where I expect us to see that push up to. So I'm looking at 370 to 372, possibly up to 375, but in that 370 zone to 372 zone, that's when I'm going to be starting to look to lock in profits. So that's going to probably push us right up here to this overbought zone on the daily chart, giving us an indication that it's a great time to lock in profits. Again, so this is on a daily chart. This is just a quick breakdown. The SPY is pretty much the same thing. The markets, these two react very similarly, QQQ and SPY. So whatever you're trading, whether it's SPY or it's QQQ, this is kind of what we're looking at, and this is what I am expecting. So after the 4 weeks, this was pretty much week one right over here. We were consolidating. We found resistance right up here. We weren't quite overbought, so it was interesting to see, but that pretty much confirmed a new descending trend line that we are now using as a resistance, and that is why we're expecting this zone to be acting as a resistance as we push up to the upside. So that's pretty much what week one, and then week 2, 3, and 4 were right over here. Well, 2 and 3 were pretty much a steady downtrend, and week 4 was this consolidation period that we saw right over here. Now on Friday of last week, we began to break up, and I do anticipate that we're going to start seeing a push up throughout this week. So that's just my expectations for this upcoming week. I hope this was helpful for you guys. You guys can kind of see the thought process of where I'm coming from. We do have plenty of room to run here on the RSI, and the MACD is just now starting to converge to the upside. That's really what I'm expecting to see this week. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the key economic data that's going to be going on this week as well. It will play a major factor in how the market reacts. So let's go ahead and grab this. I am on investing.com. You guys can pull this up. Same thing, just click on the economic calendar, filter it through the US for just the US and your time zone right up here. And you guys should have the exact same kind of a spreadsheet of key economic data if you guys want to look into it a little closer. Monday, we don't really have too much important stuff going on. We do have Fed Governor Jefferson speaking. That's going to be interesting to pay attention to. give us some pointers as to kind of where he's expecting the Fed to go with their decisions moving forward. Just his take. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but just something to pay attention to. Tuesday, we don't really have too much going on either. We do have some FOMC members speaking. That's going to be another day to pay attention to kind of what their thought process is, how they're really seeing, the decisions that they're planning on making. So that's what I'd pay attention to on those 2 days. Day 3 is Wednesday. We do have the PPI report month over month coming out and year over year. I would pay attention to that. That is going to be an important one. That's going to play an important factor in how the market reacts. Again, I don't anticipate that these are going to have a negative catalyst on the market, especially with the technical setup that we're seeing on the daily chart. So just pay attention, but it will have an influence on the market. We also have more FOMC meeting minutes being released. And then Thursday, we have our continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims. We have our CPI and our core CPI being reported. We have the OPEC monthly report being released. If you guys pay attention to oil, crude oil inventories being released as well. And then Friday, what we have is pretty much just more speakers, export price index being released, import price index being released, and then Harker speaking from the FOMC. So pretty light week, I would say, nothing too intense, but PPI, CPI is important. And then obviously having so many Fed speakers speaking, definitely going to be an interesting week to pay attention to. The last thing I wanted to jump into and give you guys kind of quick breakdown on is we have JP Morgan reporting earnings. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. JP Morgan reporting earnings on Friday before the market opens. Citi is reporting earnings before market opens, and Wells Fargo is reporting earnings before open. That's on Friday. Thursday, we pretty much have Delta. That's a pretty interesting one to pay attention to just because of the airline space. Other than that, it's a pretty light week. Light week with earnings, light week with economic data, important week, but pretty light. PPI, CPI, and some Fed speakers. So overall, that's pretty much what we have going on. If you guys did enjoy this video and a quick breakdown of the technical side of things of QQQ, where I expect the market to go, and a quick breakdown of the key economic data that's going to be released, as well as earnings. We do these videos every single Sunday to Monday night, so that you guys are prepared for the upcoming week. So if you guys enjoyed that, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on next week's video.